You all right?
No, those lunatics.
You're not hurt, are you?
You're all lunatics.
You hungry?
What?
Are you all right?
It's the greatest
It is like
non sequitur. Are you
it's
hungry?
so. Their chemistry is so good until they kiss.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Okay, so I was watching it and I was like, wow, Diane Kruger and Nick Cage they really got it. Like they're going back and forth, and I know in the modern day every love interest has to like hate each other until they don't.
Sure.
But like it really does work. I like how just his absolute just over honesty and earnestness and his love for America just wins this German girl over.
That I think is the strangest part, is why is she German? But
Well, especially because like he's like, oh, Pennsylvania Dutch, which is just like the most, okay, we get it, you like American history, but holy shit.
But when this movie came out, this was so good. That this is spot
I love
on. It's spot on.
I love it so much. Welcome to Podcast of the Rings, first off, this is with Ben and Jessica.
Ben and Jessica. Ben Gates and Jessica
Yes.
Kruger. Today we are continuing our series where we are looking at the other best works, if possible, of The Fellowship. Today we're on Sean Bean, which former host of Podcast of the Rings, Alex, did not realize that Sean Bean was in this movie and has seen it multiple times. And didn't realize that the blonde bad guy was Sean Bean. So
What do you think of it? Let's start with Sean. Usually, we talk about the movie.
Okay.
I just gotta say, there's things I really love about Sean Bean in this movie, and there's things that like I wish they had done better with him. One, I love that he's smart. I love that he's capable. He's not just some rich a-hole or anything like that. He's keeping up with Ben just in a different way. Like it reminded me of did you ever see the first Daniel Craig Bond movie, Casino Royale?
I don't think so.
There's like it opens up with like a parkour scene, because that was when parkour was very popular in like 2006. It's like it peaked at Casino Royale, and he's chasing this terrorist, and the guy's like doing parkour, like flipping through things, like there's like flipping, sliding, gliding, all these things, and then Bond is just like chasing him, but he's doing it in a different way, and it's always so cool because like there's a scene where there's like a little window at the top of a wall, and the guy like grabs the wall and like slides through it, and then Bond just like runs through the wall, like literally just like Kool-Aid Man's through it. I'm like, oh, that's like two different ways, like they're showing that, and that reminded me of this, of like, oh, they're doing the American history research, and Ian is just like early Googling. Yeah, what's that? Oh, there it is. Okay, got it.
Totally. Although, like, he did have where I thought it was interesting that, like, he knew the bell should have been there.
Yeah.
Like, when it took him a second when they got to the bell, which, by the way, I've been to the bell. The line was like 3 hours long. So I just looked outside.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing. It's like whenever places like go to like the Vatican or something like that, it's like, yeah, there'd be 10 billion tourists there that you'd also have to deal with, not just like, oh, excuse me, one, there's always like one tour group when meanwhile there's like 50.
They were in the room where the Declaration of Independence was signed and was able to bring out the Declaration of Independence and look at it. It's fantastic, and it totally works, because they do also like give you plenty of like, oh, there's going to be another tour group, so hurry. So they're not pretending that there isn't another tour group.
Yeah.
The biggest why of the whole movie is if Sean Bean's bad guy group are going to do their espionage in the back of a food truck. Why are there food truck stuff still in there? Why are there pans and stovetops? Why didn't they gut it?
Maybe they're living out of it. Maybe they're like long distance traveling. I mean, they came. My favorite thing was like they're in the middle of the Arctic shelf, digging for this lost ship. Sean Bean betrays Nicolas Cage. The ship blows up with 200-year-old gunpowder, whatever. But I love like when there's like, we've got to go before someone sees the smoke. Who's out there that's gonna see the smoke?
Not a single person.
In the middle of the Arctic. This is
and no one's getting to you anytime soon.
Right.
Actually, the most unbelievable part of that scene, which is the first scene, is that the gunpowder doesn't go up immediately.
Immediately. Yeah.
It just had to wait to get to that one full barrel still.
Yeah.
Immediately. But like, again, you're not going to these movies for cinematic realism, but it's so good. I can't get over what you just said, though. Their chemistry between Nick Cage and whatever her name is
Diane
so
Kruger.
good. Until they kiss, you're totally right.
It is so good, and especially that, like, it's such a weird kiss moment to where, like, right when they enter the secret tunnel, he's like, oh, let me kiss you before it's too late, which I totally get. But right after that is, like, you know, when the stairs start to break and he's holding her, he's like, do you trust me? And then, like, he drops her, and then he manages to be okay.
Should have been
That's
there.
where you have the kiss. Like, when he, like, comes over, then you kiss, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I dropped you for the declaration. It's like, oh, I would have done the same thing. He's like, oh, you would have? Like, great kiss moment right there.
You're
But
totally
then,
right.
and then the second one, you know, when they're at, like, you know, his rich estate now, and he's like, oh, got the girl. Yeah, I did. I was like,
awful.
oh, no.
It's awful. There's
feel
some
like-
great Nick Cage moments where he's like holding his hand up to her when they're at Urban Outfitters, and they're
I love
like,
it. Worst dressing rooms ever, by the way.
Also, so not Urban Outfitter outfits. You can't.
Yes,
you can't
cannot
tell
get
me.
that. You cannot get Uncharted, you know,
LL
NPC
Bean.
out. Yeah. Like, but this is such a, you know, we watched Indiana Jones last week,
was a
and
good
this
follow-up.
is such a great successor to that because it literally is. It's just more puzzles and more fact finding, and I am such a sucker for people. I feel like that's why I love Aaron Sorkin's stuff so much, and like The West Wing, because everyone knows everything at all times in those shows. It's like, oh, why are you doing that? Well, if you didn't know, you know, the law decree of 1775 of like Article -69433, and it's like, oh yeah, I do know that. And then they amended it, but then it's like they're just going back, and no one talks like that. But I love it, and that's what this movie is. Benjamin Gates knows absolutely everything about history, and it just works. I don't care. It works.
No,
I love that they're solving puzzles. I love that they're like going through all the history of America, and he's so reverential towards it. And it's, you know, it's like, oh, the Declaration should not be, you know, a bargaining chip. It's like, you know, they're about to, you know, read the glass. It's like, the last time this was here, it was being signed.
Such patriotism. Also,
Like Michael Bay. We just watched Armageddon. Michael Bay can suck it. This is patriotism.
Totally. Yeah, no, he failed. Actually, he dropped the ball. I don't know that I would have ever in a million years remembered that Harvey Keitel was in this movie, or if I had the opportunity, would have cast him in that role too.
See, I love him in this role.
He's wonderful.
Like,
it's just a real far left choice for me.
and I feel like a lot of his stuff got on the cutting room floor because it felt like they were going to make him like the Tommy Lee Jones of The Fugitive. You know, like he's got like the big ladies and gentlemen, and then, you know, he's part of like the Freemasons, and especially I noticed, so great. I noticed, especially when he's talking to John Voight, you know, when they like fake tie him up and stuff like that, where he's like, oh, don't worry about your car and don't worry about your son. We're going to catch him too. And then it's just like this abrupt cut. And I know, I was like, oh, I wonder if that scene was longer. Because like, one, it's just Harvey Keitel, so you expect him to be in the movie more. And he's really good. And it seems like, you know, he's got that lead detective, I always get my man type of stuff. But they just kind of, this movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes
It's a
or
long
something.
movie.
It's longer than I remembered, so I understand them like cutting some stuff, and I feel like he got left on the cutting room floor a little bit.
I think that makes sense. There's got to be more in this movie than what we're seeing. I don't think they use him poorly, but like he's also never angry, and all you cast Harvey Keitel if you want someone to be angry. You know what I mean? Like. Or really intimidating.
Did you want Bad Lieutenant in National Treasure? Just like him like doing meth while he's looking for Nicolas Cage.
What's really funny is I've never heard of that movie, but I came across my Facebook feed yesterday, so it's like the timing of it is
that's so funny,
insane. I finally watched at the behest of I don't know if I'd call him friend of the show, but he used to be my mod. He's a friend of mine now, Pandar. I finally watched Banshees of Inisherin.
Okay.
And it's excellent. I did not know it was going to be as heavy as it was because I
Very
misunderstood.
heavy.
Yeah, I didn't understand that it was like awkward comedy, but very dark. Like it's
Like the blackest of comedies for sure.
I thought it was going to be more like that town that like pretends that man's alive because he won the lottery. What's that movie?
Wecking Ned Divine?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something like that. I did not know. But I watched it. I didn't watch it on I watched it on Plex, so it's not a server that necessarily is connected to it's not my server. I watched it on Pandar server. The whole internet knew somehow I had watched it.
What?
Because I got a real recommendation.
Oh, okay.
But
gotcha.
I didn't watch it anywhere except for my IP address, maybe. Could have been linked to. So anyway,
Your phone heard it or something.
So Facebook knew I watched a Harvey Keitel movie and showed me Bad Lieutenant yesterday. I didn't need him to be a bad guy. And you know, this is what's interesting too about Sean Bean. And I have a kind of interesting question based off of it. Sean Bean's kind of toothless in this. Like, there's not really heavy threats. Like, he just lets everyone go.
Like, it's like his henchmen are more bloodthirsty than him.
Right.
Where it's like he honestly, there's like plenty of times, and like he's definitely guilty because he's the financier and he's letting his henchmen do this. But like every time they like run away, it's like, leave him. We got the map. I only want the map. I only want the declaration. Like, he's just chilling. Like, he's good. He's really not that, like, in the world of billionaires that we live in now, if Sean Bean's a billionaire, he's one of the good ones. Yeah,
because he knows what it takes to, you know, be a bad guy, but he's also not trying to hurt. He's not trying to, like, die with
like,
souls
if
on his
Elon
conscience.
Musk was Sean Bean, Nicolas Cage would have died in that ship and been buried in the Arctic.
There are bodies that line the path to these billionaires' thrones, 100%. So no, I think about that often. I'm like, oh, get in one of these guys' ways.
It is
over.
like a weird rich guy portrayal because he doesn't do that much rich guy stuff.
Yeah,
like he doesn't, you know, shut down any of the tours to get private access to the declaration or something like that.
Oh, he could though.
Or like he doesn't have like an invite to the gala that night, you know, because he donated so much money and it gets him an in while his crew goes through the back door or something like that. So it's like, and also his fits are just atrocious. I don't know who the costumer was.
His hair's atrocious too.
I don't know who. I know that you have to make him look a little greasy like the bad guy, but like he's not Snape. Like
no, you're totally right.
Like you gotta give him some good hair, or at least give him like when he's walking around in that suit. Oh my god, it's so ill. I know it's 2004, but like not every suit was baggy. Like, come on.
The worst fashion choice in this movie by far is letting Riley have whatever is happening on his face to exist. The weird mustache, the weird line and under the chin goatee. It's upsetting. And it's like maybe they thought he was too baby faced and that he needed to like look like an adult or something.
How old was Justin Bartha in this movie?
Who's Justin Bartha?
That's who Riley is.
I know, but does anyone know his name like that?
Well, everyone knows that. I don't feel bad because he's obviously successful, but I feel bad that he was always the guy getting left out of all the Hangover movies. Like he's always the guy getting.
He's the best friend.
Yeah, he's the best friend.
I didn't realize.
And it's like it's one thing for him to get left off the first one because like that's the whole plot is that they're looking for him. But then they just leave him behind in the second and third one. I was like, oh, well, okay. Like,
I don't think he couldn't hang. He's too nice. He's not. Yeah,
all right,
he would have died.
So he's 25, 26 in this movie. Okay. So, like, he's not a kid or anything. I don't know if that's what they were trying to do.
It's just bad looking, is my point. It doesn't look good on him. And then you see him when he's walking around with Diane around the streets, and Nick Cage has gotten taken into custody. His jeans are so bad. They're so
like they definitely try and give him like the cool hacker, and like that's the thing is that this is very post Ocean's 11 where they're like, and again great oh, let me break down the security of the Declaration of Independence. Very Ocean's 11 of like, oh, this rival's nuclear silo. Like, go watch like just the security system breakdown of the casinos in Ocean's 11.
Sure.
Top 10 scenes. So great. But it's very post that, and like he's very hacker and everything like that, and I love that. But yeah, just the costume designer. I'm not trying to call anybody out, but man, like I know you got to make Diane Kruger not look as Helen of Troy that she plays a year later, or maybe the same year. I think it's the same 2004. It might be the same year where like Diane Kruger's one of the most beautiful people on the planet, and like you got to tone her down a little bit to make her look like a museum curator.
Sure.
But it's like, you can't make everybody look frumpy. Like, come on. Nick Cage looks great in like his bomber jacket, but other than that,
he looks great. He's in great shape. This is like, he's just a little bit older, but like he's still like he's hauling down the road, and
he looks really good.
He does. His pants fit him right.
Yeah, like all the costume design just went to Nick Cage, and everyone's like, bring whatever you can from your closet or something. Like,
you have a North Face jacket to go to the Arctic,
yeah.
Right? It's an interesting thing. Like, you don't need these movies to be too flashy, and so Gates is a capable. Was it his resume that they were reading out that he had been through ROTC and then Navy? Yeah. So he is a capable person too.
No, yeah, it's a great rundown where it's like he's been in like the SEALs training or something like that. Like they make him very Indiana Jones, where like, yeah, he's a history nerd, but he can kick ass too.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like. It is a weird thing that they run all that down, but like he never gets into a fight. I don't think he punches a single person in this movie. So it really just is his intelligence keeping him alive. Like, they just have that rundown to make it seem like, oh, that's why he's dodging bullets right now. And the smarts to like put up my favorite thing is when he puts up the bulletproof glass to protect him from the gun. It's so great.
I know Alex even went like, haha, like he loved that happened.
It's so good.
It is. It's just so clever because Riley gives it to you that it's under an inch thick bulletproof glass thing. It's great. It's just so wonderful. I do feel sad for how they treat the Declaration of Independence though, because
it would not have survived.
It can't. How could it would have crumpled to pieces? I can't imagine it would.
Like the first time you roll it up, I don't
totally.
Like, I don't know. I can't, like, we're not document experts, but they're just like I'm doing like my school project or something like that. Like, and they do it over and over again. And the thing, like, even I don't know what that tube they have is made of, but it's not like sealed and hermetically and everything. It's just like it would fall apart the minute it touched air. That it's a 200-year-old document.
Here's another point too that I didn't consider until just now. The ink is so faded of like the writing. The only thing you probably can see clearly at this point is John Hancock, because that's so much ink. Whatever. You can't tell me that invisible ink lasted perfectly. Yeah, like they have like the front of the document. All you see is John Hancock basically, but then you turn it over and it's like, oh, there's the secret code right there. In like 3D detail. Not just, I don't mean like because you're looking at 3D glasses, like it looks like the back of a dollar bill. That's how intricate the detail is.
Yeah, how did they even do that? Like how did the Freemasons take this document and then with like invisible ink, like intricately illustrate all these things? Like,
do that. I guess you have to keep it hot the whole time.
The whole time.
It's great. But even somehow when she's sticking the Q-tip in the lemon, it's sexy too.
She's one of the hottest people like ever created.
Yeah.
Like she's. And like when they like, oh, heat, and then they like they're always talking so close to each other.
So close.
It's so good. And then like when they're in the changing room and then like, they peek over the shoulder and they're like talking to each other.
How many people have you effed?
It's just so like they have great chemistry, and it sucks that the kiss is so bad for it. Because like if they were bad, then the kiss would be bad, and whatever, it's all bad. Like it'd be like, Jungle Cruise. Like Emily Blunt and The Rock, no chemistry really. They kiss at the end, and it's a really bad kiss.
I would never in a million years needed that pairing to happen. That movie could be without romance.
Go watch the kiss, and I don't know. There definitely wasn't an intimacy director on set because like High School Musicals have better like hand placement. Like it's I don't
This is
I don't
bad.
know.
It upsetting.
It was very bad. And that's why like I keep bringing it up. I'm genuinely upset by the kiss because they are cooking in this movie. They are so good together from the moment they meet, the moment that they walk in the office where there's only one joke of like, oh, she's very pretty for, museum creator.
Right.
That's one joke. I'm okay with one joke. And then after that, he's just like, yeah, you're just here. Oh, you share, like you've got the George Washington campaign buttons. What an insane thing to have, by the way. George Washington campaign buttons? And he immediately knows that she doesn't have the Delaware one or whatever. Like, that's the shit I love, dude. I love it. That's like the most Aaron Sorkin writing. Like, immediately clocks of the one you don't have. And of course, he's got it. That's what we call Riz, kids. That's Riz right there. Even if they hadn't gone on, some death-defying adventure, he would have.
Is she a level 11 Lizzie Dunn? Livy Dunn?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
She wishes. Livy Dunn wishes she was a level 11 Diane Kruger.
Got it. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm using Livy Dunn right.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Don't goon now, kids. Anything else or more to talk? This movie we basically have talked about the entire movie.
I just like it's so fun just to like go on this adventure with these people and like I don't know. I love that I forgot Christopher Plummer was the granddad in this movie. How did they get him for this one scene?
Is he an American or is he English?
Let me look.
Because I feel like we do this thing, if he's English, where we're
Canada.
Like, oh, okay. They traverse well. Because he's got this like semi-mid-Atlantic accent, right?
And the fact that he's playing the grandpa in this movie in 2004, and then 15 years later, he's playing like the patriarch in Knives Out, like his last role before he passes. Like, the man just crushes, dude.
He's so good. Yeah, when I saw him on screen, I'm like, okay, we're here now.
And this is before Jon Voight went crazy, but I do love him in this movie as well.
Was he talking to Angelina Jolie at this point, or because I know they're estranged again? I don't know.
I don't know when they like
because they did Lara Croft together.
Yeah, that Lara Croft was like 2001, 2000.
So what did he go crazy 2001? For? I don't remember.
Oh, just like a right-wing, like hard right-wing Republican.
Cool.
Yeah. Not the best politics, but in this movie, he's great. And then at the very end, he just keeps saying the word status quo over and over again. I remember thinking that the first time I watched it, I was like, wow, they really just had him say status quo over and over. And then when I was watching it again, I was like, yeah, I do remember the status quo.
That's
status
great.
Quo. Status quo, Benjamin.
And I do like that, like, they are resigned that they didn't find the treasure. Jon Voight loves Nick Cage and still appreciates what his life's passion has been about, even though they didn't find it. Like, it's nice that they had that resolution before they find the treasure room. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing is that this is such a great, especially Last Crusade, coming into this movie, the whole father-son stuff.
There's a lot of parallels.
A lot of parallels with that, and I feel, obviously, like, this is aping very much off Indiana Jones, and I'm okay with it. When a movie does it right, then it's good. But yeah, the whole father-son parallel, and it is such a testament that, yeah, this is like just a dumb, fun adventure movie. But when he says, like, I want all the credit to go to the Gates family, and like, because even when Diane Kruger, like, he says, oh, my name's Paul Brown. Oh, my name, like, kind of doesn't do well in this town when it comes to history. And the minute, and you don't realize, because nothing's happened. We haven't seen Jon Voight since, the attic, since his kid, like, since he was a kid. So you don't really know any of this, besides, like, the dad saying it one time of like, oh, yeah, wasted, don't believe this. I'll be in the car. That's all we get.
Right.
And then the minute Diane Kruger's like, Gates? The crazy conspiracy family? You're like, oh, okay, got it. Okay. And so it is, like, a very satisfying payoff, And you really feel it when he's, negotiating with Harvey Keitel of like, yeah, I want all this credit to go to the Gates family. Because like, I feel like we really underestimate what kind of discovery this would be. Like, this would literally be world changing if like thousands of years of history were buried underneath
we'd learned that aliens did come into contact with us.
Like, it's insane.
Eden was real. You know
like they really skate over that of like that this is world changing history, that they are going to find things that have been lost to time for centuries.
100%.
And I'm glad that they did mention, like, oh, some will go to the Louvre, some will go to, like, the Egyptian Museum. Like, it'll be spread around the world, not like, it's going to go to Branson, Missouri. One's going to go to Kentucky. We'll put some in Texas. It's like, yeah, just keep it America over here.
It's fantastic. Because, I mean, how on a scale... That's what I was going to ask earlier. Is Sean Bean... properly cast in this movie, or could someone have done it better?
I think he's properly cast. I'm sure we could name other actors that could do a good job as well, but I do like him in this movie because, like, even at the beginning, if Nicolas Cage, it's so funny because I was just thinking about it as I was making breakfast this morning. It's so funny that Nick Cage, when he's at the ship in the Arctic, and he's like, no, we can't steal it. Sean, I can't do this. We all like doing all these things. I'm like, Nick, just say like, okay, yeah, let's just get back, to civilization, and then we can talk about it. Or let's, we steal the Declaration.
God, totally.
And he's being Ned Stark in this moment. He's refusing to play any kind of game. He's refusing to be deceptive in any kind of way. He's just stoutly being like, no, on my honor, good sir, I shall not sully these American holy documents. And it's like, oh my, just for a second, Benjamin Gates, can you just pretend that, yeah, we'll go along with your sinister plan? And honestly, I bet you if he's like, okay, Sean Bean, we're going to steal the Declaration. I'm going to handle it. We are going to find out what we need. It is going to be pristinely taken care of, crafted, all these things, and then we're going to give it back. And I bet you Sean Bean would have been like, okay. Even like, I just want the treasure. Like, he doesn't care about the Declaration, but if he needs Benjamin Gates, he would have been like, yeah, we can do it your way. Like, and it would have been fine. There'd be no movie.
No.
But it would have been fine.
Because ultimately, he does come to the same conclusion that it needs to be stolen.
Yes.
Like, the thing he was vehemently against is the thing he has to do.
It's not like and that's the thing, is that it's not like he steals it and then brings it to the FBI and be like, hey, this almost got stolen, but I stole it instead.
100%.
Here it is. He steals it to also get the treasure.
100%.
Like, he could have let Diane Kruger just take it back, and then it would have, double guard, double bulletproof glass, double alarms, whatever you want to do, and no one would have gotten to it. And they would have been like, oh, there's some flaws in the preservation room. We got to fix that up. We got to make sure it's like, there's going to be a 24/7 motherfucker standing around, like, with an AR-15 or something like that. Like, no one's getting to this thing.
Wow.
But he doesn't do that. He takes it, and he goes on the treasure hunt himself. So you know what, Benjamin Gates, you are not holier than thou, good sir.
No.
Like, and that's good stuff, because like he's doing it more like, obviously he's doing it for the knowledge, but you know what? He's doing it to clear his family name, and he's doing like when they do the invisible ink and nothing's there, like it's good disappointment of just like, oh my God, there's so many times in this movie where you think it might not be real, and that's why you get Nicolas Cage, and that, I mean, I'm sure there's other reasons, his gambling debt and like need for a paycheck, like whatever.
Is that a thing?
It was. I think he's fine now, but like, he was buying like dinosaur skulls and stuff like that. Like,
oh my God.
But like, it's so good of why you get this, because it's this part could have been a Disney Plus, we didn't have it, but it could have been a straight to DVD movie.
Sure.
but you get like all these A-list actors in it, and it elevates it. Like these simple script beats and these simple story beats like get elevated by Jon Voight, by Nicolas Cage, by freaking Christopher Plummer and Harvey Keitel
to show up. Yeah, it's like royalty, literal Hollywood royalty to be like to up the prestige.
Like if you don't have Christopher Plummer doing that, like again,
it's a made-for-TV movie. Then
yeah, this is Cate Blanchett giving you the history of the ring. Oh, by the way, you think you know American history? No, you don't. Like. Rethink everything. And when was the Da Vinci Code? Da Vinci Code was the next few years,
so
right?
Funny. Alex said the same thing, that this was a better Da Vinci Code. I am not too
2006.
proud. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not too proud to say that I love the Da Vinci Code.
The first one's entertaining as heck.
Actually, the movie I didn't love as much. The movie I
never read the book. I only saw the movie.
Fun. The book is fun.
They are called airport novels for a reason. Like I don't need to read the Magna Carta while I'm on a layover. Like I don't need to read the Art of War every time I'm bored or something like that. They are fun. Like I love Jack Reacher novels. They're fun. They're fun books.
Amazing.
And this is how you do a puzzle solving movie. Like oh, by the way, speaking of hair, Tom Hanks's hair in the Da Vinci Code. Who signed off on that?
I don't remember.
Look, I will give you a second to look it up. No. It's rough. You got to tell me, when you look it up, who's got worse hair, Tom Hanks or Sean Bean?
Oh, why did they do that to him?
Yeah.
Oh, why did they do that to him?
Honestly, Sean Bean was a studio choice. That's Tom Hanks' choice, because he's Tom Hanks.
No.
Yes. Tom Hanks could have gotten a crew cut, and they would have been like, sure, Tom.
They really wanted to distinguish him here. What the hell?
I don't know.
He looks like Philip Seymour Hoffman meets like Tom Hanks. It's a tough look, man.
It's a real tough look.
So strange.
The biggest criticism I have for Sean Bean's character is the very end, when they're in the treasure room and he's like, what's the next clue? Like, is that it? And he's like, oh, it's the lantern, one if by land, two if by sea. Sean Bean. Where is Sean Bean from? Is he British?
He's got to be British or Irish or something.
South Yorkshire. So that's England, right? Yeah,
it's UK.
Yeah. So he knows the British came by sea. Like that, and as you've established that this character is smart as well. Like, I'm not saying there's plenty of stuff that you can do with Benjamin Gates knowing things that Sean Bean's character doesn't know. Absolutely. Like, Benjamin Gates is a freak for American history. We've established this.
Right.
One if by land, two if by sea is not one of those things.
That what?
That everybody knows. Everybody knows the story of Paul Revere.
Right.
Literally everybody knows the story of Paul Revere. There's a Beastie Boys song called Paul Revere.
Right. Everyone knows that. Oh, I had the same exact feeling when all of the goons were running around Philadelphia and they knew every street and where.
That's like they knew everyone always heading to Main Street. Oh, okay. I just know Philadelphia, even though one is British, one is Russian.
Dude, I was there for 2 minutes. I really was. That was the only reason I went to go see the Bells, because I had a long layover in Philadelphia. I was lost and used my phone the entire time. I had no fucking idea where I was.
Oh, even in Japan. Granted, I can't read the street signs obviously, but it's a grid. It's a grid the same as New York is. And so it's just you should be able to get around, but no, you need the fact that they're I'm always so jealous of people like cabbies, like cab drivers. They just know. I don't know now, now everyone's got their thing, but that used to be those black cabs in London.
The black cabs, yeah.
They used to have to take a test to be like, oh, I'm going to this and this. Where do I go? What's the best route? If traffic's there, where do I? And they knew.
Yeah.
And so that's that's probably why they're so expensive. But it's just also that's what you got to do. And so I'm always jealous of it's when I watch old 80s and 70s movies oh, I'm going to 45th and 70th through. And it's okay, what? It used to, even growing up, if you were shotgun on a road trip, you either had the map, or you had the map quest printed out and you were the navigator.
I fooled myself by keeping my dad's Thomas guide in my car for years when I first started driving, thinking I could actually figure out LA that way. I was like, you know what? There may come a time when I really need it. One of my first times driving, actually, I got lost going the wrong direction up Laurel Canyon because I didn't have MapQuest, and I was fine. I just went the wrong direction, and I started panicking because I didn't have any idea where I was, and I had to literally remember which way is east, north, south, which direction did the sun go down, you know.
Yeah.
It was one of my first panic moments as a young adult, but
it happens. Everyone goes through it, you know.
But you're telling me these guys are fucking on their private jet, flying from city to city and going, okay, memorize downtown Philadelphia.
I will say solid goons though. Like the main goons. The main British goon is good, and then the Russian goon.
We've seen that guy before in other things, right? He's in
Which
other
one?
Things. The like the shaved head guy. He does
David Dan Fisher. Let me look. Let me see what else he's in.
I love that scene when they're in like the closed like the flea market, or like, and she's like, I can see why you divorced him. So good.
So good. See, like that's how you do it, Michael Bay. You don't have to do like harmful stereotypes like you did.
Jesus, how about just diverse casting? Jesus, right? My God.
The Dark Knight Rises, it says he's Shoeshine Man, but I'm not seeing anything else. I know the Russian guy from a lot of stuff, though.
Is that the guy who says, "Why does that never happen to me"?
No, not that guy. He's the.
That was awkward
too. He's driving in the chase,
right?
But anyone that like sees him in this movie will know him. He's like in Predators. He's in 15 Minutes. Like he's in a lot of stuff.
Crazy. Yeah, this is fun. This is a movie that I think I had seen and I forgot I had seen. And it's happened a couple times here to us while we've been doing this series. But I think I will watch it again in the future happily because it's enjoyable. I don't know that I need to watch the next two. Is she in both the future ones? Is Diane?
I think she's in the second one. The third one is just I think it's a Disney Plus series. I think the second I think there's only one sequel with Nicolas Cage. Let me see if Diane Kruger's in it. I remember that Bruce Greenwood is the president and he kidnaps the president for like 2 minutes to get a pass. Like,
oh my God.
I think it's like Ed Harris, besmirches the Gates name, saying that I think they were part of the Lincoln assassination.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that he was like John Wilkes Booth's friend or something like that. And so Nicolas Cage has to go on another globe-trotting adventure to clear the Gates name. And I know Ed Harris is the bad guy. Helen Mirren looks like she's in it. Bruce Greenwood is in it. So another
Helen Mirren?
Like another crazy cast.
What the heck?
This first movie, what was the box office on this movie? It had
to be so good.
Yeah. 350 million. Like crazy money.
That's an insane amount of money.
Yeah. So this first one like printed money, let alone what the DVD sales did and everything like that. And this and the next one made even more money. It made 460 million. So I'm honestly surprised there wasn't like a trilogy or that Nick Cage didn't come back for, the Disney Plus series. Maybe he makes a cameo, but I don't think so.
He's just tired at that point and he's worried about his pig.
He's doing his art house stuff and we love him for it. I want to go see Longlegs. I hear it's terrifying, but
oh, is he in that? I know nothing about it. My friend is watching it literally right now and invited me and I said absolutely not. I got to talk to him briefly. My co-host interviewed him while I recorded Nick Cage.
Cool.
Yeah, and what really struck me about him, this was in December of last year, he really just has so much movie knowledge. Even as a kid, he just loves movies. So
yeah.
It's just, and he's so knowledgeable about it. And he was talking about when he watched the Universal monsters as a kid and all these things, and anyway, maybe that interview will come out one day, but he's just like it's like the first movie I've watched with him in it since that interview, and I'm like, this guy just is thrilled to be there and make this movie.
There's a great, I don't have like any direct quotes from it, but like you should YouTube it, where he talks about how people call him an overactor, and he's like, what does that even mean? Like, I'm just giving like 100%. Like, there's no such thing as overacting. And it's such a good answer, because there's plenty of times where we just don't take him seriously or something like that. But it's like, he is loving every single second that he's in front of a camera. And why wouldn't he? Like, he is the definition of a movie star. And like, Mandy is one of my favorite movies of all time. And he's absolutely batshit insane in that, and it's so good.
Yeah, I don't know if he's an overactor. I think he really makes a choice and commits to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it really works, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay. And you have to have a director that knows how to work with that, though, too. Like, he knows exactly what, like, God, like when he's telling her to be quiet, like, shh. And he's just like genuinely charming and nice about it. It's like, not very many people can pull that off, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's so good, where he's just trying to think, and he's like, shut up.
Please stop. It's so excellent.
He's so gentle, but like, you're just like, oh, I do want to listen to this guy.
Yes, very cool. I love it. So shall we go to the next part?
Let's do our questions for National Treasure.
I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to the second half of Podcast of the Rings, where we're talking about National Treasure. And now the time has come for us to answer questions with regards to Sean Bean. And the keeper of the questions is Ben.
What stands out as the best moment for this actor?
When he says, yeah, I know about the glasses. When he's talking to him.
Oh, he's on the phone? Yeah. That's a good...
It's just a silly line.
Oh, by the way, like, I gotta go back to this moment in the movie where she like calls him while they're in the car, and she's like, oh, I'm like, Diane Kruger's like, calling the shots now or whatever after he gets broken out. And he's like, oh, I'm looking at Ian right now. We're right across the street at, at the internet cafe. I'm like, the goons are right there. You're just giving up the info. Oh my God. Like,
it was kind of dumb that she thought she had any leverage in that moment. Yeah. It's very silly.
My favorite moment probably for him is like when it is like his one genuinely threatening moment when they're going down the elevator and he's like, come on, let's go. But I do like it because he's like, Ian, let's just give it up. He's like, do you think I care about any of your lives than my friend that just died?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a good moment. And then I love the, when they're about to leave, he's like, oh, what if we lie? He's like, well, did you? He's like, oh,
that is a good movie.
Oh my gosh.
That was such a good moment. I just feel like as a society, we haven't put him in enough things.
We didn't. And like they gave him this, they gave him Troy, and it's just like, and I know like Game of Thrones, but it's like he died after one season, and it's just like, I don't know why, he was free after one season to go do whatever he wanted. I don't know why he didn't get like another bad guy or, like just something like a resurgence of his career after Game of Thrones should have happened.
Yeah.
Where like he's just like a solid third or fourth lead in like 4 huge movies. Or like he's a bad guy in the MCU or a DC movie or something. Like,
can you say that last part again? Like he's a bad guy in the MCU.
Or like he's a bad guy in like the MCU or, a Zack Snyder film or something like that.
That's such a good idea.
I don't know why that didn't happen. I honestly don't know why that didn't, like, he would have been great in like Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that. Like just there's especially now where there's so many big blockbusters out there that could have used some gravitas that Sean Bean brings.
He so brings it. And granted, like his narration in Civ 6 is so great. But it's like, take that guy outside the booth and make him go do something. Cut his head off.
And he doesn't care about dying, so put him in one movie and kill him off. Like,
it's true.
He does not care.
His contract. Yeah, he doesn't need to get the same amount of arrow slings as Aragorn.
Something, man.
Jesus.
He's just so effortlessly good. Like his voice does so much of the heavy lifting
so
that
beautiful.
like he's a good actor, but even if he was like a mediocre actor, his voice would still carry him to A-list status. And it's just, I'm just like, why? I'm glad he's still working, but why aren't you in more noticeable things? Like, why didn't he get another HBO big series? Okay, he's off Game of Thrones. Put him in whatever else you got, HBO,
they can't
something.
Stop using Kit Harington, so it's like
Gene Smart is in like 9 HBO thing. Like they reuse actors all the time.
It's so true.
Put him in something.
It's so true. Sheesh.
Who in The Fellowship would you recast for Sean Bean in National Treasure?
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban. Only if he's doing Billy Butcher from Oi, cunts, where's the map?
100%.
Oi, where's the Declaration?
I'm gonna roll it up and smoke it. He's gonna use it for paper.
You hiding up your bimbo hoe. Where's the next clue? In your penis?
Jesus Christ.
I've never seen someone have more fun with a role than Carl Urban as Billy Butcher.
He shines.
He's so good.
I can't even watch it. It's such a disgusting show anymore. I got up to season 2 and I'm done. I can't do it.
Totally fair. But like, what 4 iconic roles in one lifetime? Eomer, Bones, Billy Butcher, and Judge Dredd. Pretty crazy.
Oh, he's Judge Dredd?
Yeah.
And then I forgot he's in the Thor movies. He's just the bad, like, my stuff.
Look at my stuff.
It's so good.
All right. Does Peter Jackson directing this movie make it better?
I'm going to say on par.
I think 2004 Peter Jackson makes this better because we are going on locations. We're going to, Independence Hall in Pennsylvania and Boston and New York and everything. Because, like, I know they filmed the Arctic stuff in Utah. I looked it up because I was like, did they really go out there? But no, it's like in Utah. But I'm okay with it because it looks good. But like they really went to all these places. Like I'm sure that's why this movie cost $100 million because like renting out those spots and preventing tours probably ain't cheap. So Disney shelled out the money for this. This was when Disney was really cooking of like, okay, we're going to do live action stuff. We're going to go on location. We're going to spend the money. And then the volume was invented and they're like, we're good.
We're good. Yeah. Do you think the ending scene where because listen, Peter Jackson's no stranger to CGI and he certainly integrated it just fine.
The treasure room would have been better.
It would have been better.
Yeah. I took that note as well where like that's like the one time the CGI doesn't hold up where
I even remembered it more glorious than that.
Yeah, like the fire doesn't look good and like you can't really see like what the treasure is.
You're telling me it doesn't catch fire, like papers don't catch fire, that
room doesn't get insanely hot very fast.
That the church doesn't fall in on itself. Like I'm just. It's a little unreasonable. It's a great concept, though. And
also, for a movie that you're hunting this treasure for this long, we don't get a lot of shots of it. And the shots that we do are, like, kind of dark and by firelight. Like, I wanted them to, like... There's, like, 1 or 2 scenes of, like, them picking up stuff. But, like, I wanted them to Scrooge McDuck those motherfuckers, man. Like...
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's how I remembered it. Was, like, just piles of gold. Like... that moment alone would have been improved with Peter Jackson.
Especially because like we have The Mummy like a few years before this where there are these treasure room scenes where there's like sliding gold coins and everything. And just same with Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, they're doing that in Pirates as well. So
yeah,
Disney's got these treasure hoards. Like they've got them on the back lot. So use them.
Just reuse it.
Reuse it. No one's going to care.
I don't give a shit.
If Jack the Monkey shows up, everyone's going to be happy and be like, oh my God, a shared universe. I mean, to be fair, he's an immortal monkey. He took the coin.
We don't know.
Is he John Hancock?
Jesus Christ. No, it's the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh yeah, it's Salem. It's so good.
So very good. Yeah, that's what would have been improved, I think. Just that shot alone. Just give us the fucking money shot, quite literally.
Quite literally,
and make it better.
Could the main characters of this movie deliver the ring to Mount Doom?
I think so. And I think he wouldn't be tempted.
I don't know if they deliver the ring to Mount Doom, but I will say they discover what the ring is centuries earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like they find one after Isildur drops it in the river. I don't know when Ben Gates is born 100 years after Isildur dies.
Okay.
One, Ben Gates is for sure Númenorian. Absolutely.
100%.
The Gates family is descended from Númenorians. Two, he finds the ring in the river. Smeagol never gets it.
You think
or
so?
Deagle never finds it, and then Smeagol
you think
never.
So?
I do. I think they hunt down like where Isildur died on the battlefield. It's like, oh, like he jumped into the river. Okay, the river current was 10 knots on this day, and here's the path and whatever, and I
think you're crunching time too much. I think Deagle does get it.
You think Deagle gets it?
Yeah, I think maybe not. I'm just trying to think about like who. Okay, so who's the person that tells Gates Senior about the ring? Is it Elrond?
It's the one guy. It's the son of the one guy that Isildur sent off during the siege. So they were surrounded, and Isildur's like, "Hey, take this and like take the news of my death and get out of here."
Wow.
And I think that's what happened. I haven't read.
I don't know.
I think that's what happened.
Okay,
I could be
perhaps.
wrong. And so the son of that guy that got out is Benjamin Gates, or the son of the son of the son. However far you want to go, because the ring's in the Anduin for like thousands of years.
Totally gone for the ring. Yes, but here's the problem with this: he doesn't do anything with the ring. Like you're telling me he would just keep the ring?
No, he'd throw it in Mount Doom.
You wouldn't get to the point. I wasn't letting you get there.
Yeah,
it wouldn't even get to the.
It wouldn't be a thing. He'd be like, yeah. Like to restore, like in the same way, Isildur's Bane, the Gates family Bane. He'd be like, this is restoring the Gates family honor. Throw the ring in.
You're totally right. Sauron wouldn't even be a question. Frodo would be just a little normal boy. Bilbo would be. Yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah.
No story. But
literally no story. There's no epic quest. There's like the epic quest would be finding the ring of like the treasure hunt, and like people would say, oh, it doesn't exist. Sauron's gone. Like kind of like what we're dealing with the Rings of Power before, after the rings of like, oh, like they try and send Gates off into the Undying Lands and stuff. Like just let it go. You're fine. But then like once he got it, there wouldn't be a story. That would be the story. It's like, I found the ring. Blip, lava.
It's so true. Fantastic. I love that. All right, next question.
What are some other honorable mentions for this actor's best movie? I begged and pleaded for GoldenEye, because if you have never seen a Bond movie,
yeah,
honestly, GoldenEye is my favorite Bond
I guess
movie.
I didn't realize he was in GoldenEye.
He is the main, like that. He is such a good villain because he's 006. And Bond is 007.
Oh.
So, like, he knows Bond's every move. They're longtime friends. He feels that Bond betrayed him. It's a really, really great movie. Nostalgia aside, it's really, really good. So, I strongly, strongly recommend GoldenEye for anyone that hasn't seen it. For anyone that doesn't really like Bond movies, there's only like one or two quote-unquote Bond moments. But it's Pierce Brosnan's first movie before it got, like, bad. But he's really good in it. Pierce Brosnan's a great Bond, great villain. What's her name? Xenia Onatopp is who plays Phoenix in the X-Men movies. What's her name? X-Men. What's her name?
I don't know.
Famke Jensen. I just couldn't because I know she's got a unique name. Famke Jensen is a great Bond girl villain, and it's really, really good. I love it. And Sean Bean's great in the movie. And so highly recommend.
They have a character of him in the game, because I played the game. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know Weird.
The game is the movie. It's just like they just put more levels in there of what Bond does. So yeah, like he's the final boss.
Wow. Okay, well, so I never saw the movie. I'm glad we watched this. It was the perfect follow-up to, like we said, to Indiana Jones. But it would have been nice to have a reason to watch GoldenEye, for sure.
Definitely watch it. Cannot recommend GoldenEye enough. It is still my favorite Bond movie. I like all the Daniel Craig ones. I like Sean Connery. I like Roger Moore.
Pierce Brosnan was the guy that was happening as we were coming up, though, as babies.
That's the thing, is that Pierce Brosnan was supposed to be Timothy Dalton. They wanted him earlier, but he couldn't get out of the show he was in. I can't think of what it was called, but they wouldn't let him out of his show contract. So they did 2 Timothy Dalton movies. Neither of them did very well. The audience did not respond to him well. And so when he was finally out of the show, they got Pierce Brosnan, who they always wanted, but he was a little older. So, by the time Pierce Brosnan's run is done, he's older.
Wow.
But first Pierce Brosnan movie, GoldenEye, is amazing. Cannot recommend enough.
Sexy. He's so hot.
He's so good. Pierce Brosnan is my favorite Bond movie because Pierce Brosnan is literally who I think of when I think of Bond.
The picture of the man.
Yes.
Really and truly. Yeah, I'm with you. I feel the same.
But Equilibrium's also a great Sean Bean movie. Not real, like he dies, but he's got that weight that even when he dies early in a movie, like you remember him, and it's good.
The Ned Stark effect is still real.
It is very, very real. Honestly, if we weren't doing Game of Thrones on Patreon, I probably would have put like the first 2 episodes of Game of Thrones like as an option, like as like a quote unquote movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. And if you don't know what Ben's referring to, we do a Patreon exclusive House of the Dragon podcast on our Patreon, and soon we'll be jumping once this season's done to do Game of Thrones. So sign up.
Absolutely, I'm very, very excited. What else is there?
So's your mom. I'll be cutting the silence out.
No, you won't. You won't. You won't be cutting the silence. You will not be cutting the silence, actually. You're going to have to own that silence. And this one. The Island was the other option, which
one is The Island?
It's another Michael Bay movie, so that would have been fun to do.
Sure.
And I feel like it's his last... I don't know. I know people really love the first Transformers movie, but I think it's his last movie before he just goes full Transformers.
Okay.
It's
he is Transformer now.
Yeah, it's Ewan McGregor and Scarlett. And
yeah,
early ScarJo.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I want to say early ScarJo, but we did early ScarJo with North. Like
weird.
Like, talk about, I did not realize how long that girl has been acting.
Oh, for a very long time.
Because I know she was the daughter in, I think she was the daughter in Eight-Legged Freaks, which was the David Arquette spider movie from, when was that? Yeah, exactly. When was Eight-Legged Freaks? Hold on. Eight-Legged Freaks was 2002. And she's the daughter in it. And I remember thinking, when was Scarlett Johansson born?
She's like an 86er.
She's 3 years older than me.
86?
84.
84. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm 87. So I remember thinking, I was like, oh, who's the cute daughter in like 2002? And turned out it was Scarlett Johansson. So you know what?
Taste.
I clocked it early, man.
You had good taste. My brother walked
15-year-old Ben called it.
I think a lot of people called it up to this point.
No, it was just me. It definitely wasn't the casting director who fucking put her in the movie.
My brother said, passed her in a hallway, like at a Hollywood party, and said that she was the most erotic person he's ever walked by in his life. Like,
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, something about her, she just oozed sexuality.
Absolutely. Like, I'm sorry, you don't cast someone in her where it's just her voice.
It wasn't. She wasn't even the original voice artist for that.
Who was it?
It's actually it's not a sad story. It's just like, poor actress. He didn't act with Scarlett Johansson's voice. It was another actress. Original voice of her. Samantha Morton.
Oh, I know that name. Who is Samantha Morton? I know that name.
Is Walking Dead, Minority Report.
She's the precog in Minority Report.
So that actress was the voice for her, and that's who Joaquin Phoenix is acting opposite. And then they realized it didn't work, and they redubbed with Scarlett.
That's crazy.
It's actually crazy.
It's so funny. That's the first trivia fact on IMDb. She was present on set with Joaquin Phoenix. After the filming wrapped, Spike Jonze started editing the movie, felt like something was not right. With Morton's blessing, he decided to recast the role, and ScarJo was brought on and redubbed the dialogue.
Movie's better for it.
It is. Like,
genuinely.
I like Samantha Morton. I know she just did like a big villain role in Walking Dead. She's a great actor, but I cannot imagine that movie without ScarJo.
I was very jealous of Scarlett Johansson for a long time as a young actress, just from like for irrational hatred of her. And her was where that started to turn around for me, because I was like, oh, actually, she's not a bad actor. I'm not even seeing her, and I know exactly what she's, conveying. And then I end up booking a job because I sound like Scarlett Johansson. I was like, thanks, Scarlett. Like, the second I stopped hating her, my career started to come into fruition.
Haterade, dog.
Well, no, but it just, I always took that as like a sign, like there is something that linked us that I was just jealous of. And when I stopped looking at that as like, when I stopped looking at her as my competition, even though in what world, right? Like,
same. Like I'm at LA Fitness, and I'm like, when I stop thinking of LeBron James as my competition,
I'm sorry, I am as talented as ScarJo, and I have as much sexuality as she does. She just started early. My dad didn't let me start early. I would have had a different career, but I was irrationally jealous of her career. And when I realized that wasn't helping me get anywhere, I ended up going more forward in my career and ended up getting my SAG card thanks to her. So,
are you still in SAG?
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
If you are a working actor, yes. If you have an agent that you can work a lot non-union, but you're obviously more protected and you pay into.
Yeah.
But are you eligible?
Oh, no. I don't really know anything about it, but I know like the dues are crazy, and then I don't. Did you guys get better stuff with like the strike, like with like insurance and stuff like that? Or is it just that like you have to work a certain amount to stay on the insurance?
That's the case. Like I'm not on their insurance right now because I didn't work enough last year.
Gotcha.
I didn't work enough last year. The benefits are more than they are less.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
But a lot of agents will stay non-union as long as possible, because this is the problem though. Now a lot of commercials are non-union, and even TV shows are becoming non-union, which means there's no protections for actors. So that's what you're working into. I'm more pro-union than I am anti-union, especially when it comes to that one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Unions are good things.
And it was like a benchmark in my career, and one I'm very proud I was able to achieve.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah. That's a big thing.
It is a big thing.
It's not easy.
Next question.
Final question.
Yes.
Let's recast the movie.
Everyone but Sean Bean.
Everybody but Sean Bean.
Oops,
so we're starting with the big guns. Oh, what movie have we cast so far that would benefit from all Sean Beans?
Sean Beans. I think Indiana Jones would be good for Oops All Sean Beans.
I was gonna say Pirates.
Oops All Sean Beans would be amazing.
I want to see a Sean Bean Jack Sparrow for
Oops,
sure.
I spilled the beans.
Oops, I spilled the beans. All right, so Nicolas Cage, Benjamin Gates.
Yeah.
It's got to be Viggo, right?
I think so. I don't know that you can cast. I just imagine Viggo being so intense. He goes, "This was the very room where it was signed."
Why is he Scandinavian?
I'm just saying, like, he's doing his semi-English accent. I'm picturing Aragorn delivering these lines, is all.
Okay, I was going to say, Viggo Mortensen's mother is American, so that's our American 1776er right there. Wait, is that... I'm so nervous.
Viggo is American.
Yes. All right, I called him a 1776er, but nowadays I don't know if that's like a cult or something
It very
like that.
well could be. I would be
It very well
curious.
could be.
Don't create one.
That's the scary thing. It's so unfortunate that like in 2004 this movie just ruled that like, oh my god, this like loves American history. And now if you met this guy, like he'd have like this crazy YouTube channel.
He would have been at Jan 6, you know.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
just to make sure that nothing got hurt.
Yeah, he was like guarding Nancy Pelosi's office, be like, she's got precious documents, get out of here.
100%.
Like he's hunting that guy down, like the boarhead guy that like went viral because like he stole like the podium. It's like that podium is from 1920 and FDR did a speech about it. Like
100%. Yeah, I don't think I clocked this.
National Treasure, the reclaiming of January 6th, coming to theaters soon.
Being
Nicolas
pitched right
Cage,
now.
come on back.
He'd do it too.
Spare no expense.
Yeah, the obvious elephant in the room as we were recording it, just 3 days previous, former President Trump had an attempted assassination. The news cycle works so quickly though that no one gives a fuck anymore.
No, it's already old news, except for memes. It's just memes.
It's
now.
all memes now, but I didn't feel like an overwhelming sense of patriotism while watching this movie, although I did love his, like, how much he revered this.
No, and that's the thing is that like, especially, the Olympics are coming up. I think, USA basketball was playing Canada the other day, and I was like, oh my God, like that's the only time I really get patriotic is like in sports now, is when we play the rest of the world. But it is a different thing. We did Armageddon, and it's like, that's America, fuck yeah. And this one's like,
History.
America. Hand like this, like Armageddon's like a salute. This one's like a hand over your heart.
Salute and shoot, and this is history and heart. Over the November, over the fall, we did like several weeks of workshops about the founding fathers in participation, in anticipation of potentially doing a play about them.
In participation of January 6th.
It was an inside job.
That honestly, okay. There's either two things: either we make the movie about the reclamation of like everything that was stolen in January 6th.
Okay.
Or Benjamin Gates orchestrated January 6th to get into the buildings to find more clues. Like the whole thing was like a big ruse of like, how can I get into Congress without them knowing?
He didn't orchestrate it. He used the opportunity wisely.
Yes.
It's just the timing. It just so happened to coincide.
He was that old lady that was like giving the thumbs up. Like that was Benjamin Gates in a mask.
100%. And what he's trying to do is patriotic. He's like, there's a document that proves that Donald Trump can't take the seat, and that
exactly,
that we should go by the popular vote, not by the electoral college, whatever. And he's just trying to prove it.
Yeah, where's Benjamin Gates when we need him? Because it really does work. Like it's so funny because like he's trying. I know he's got to get Diane Kruger's fingerprints for the keypad with the champagne, and I love her boyfriend is that guy that you've seen in a bunch of things that you're like, he's always
totally.
Like the schlubby other guy, like
yeah.
But just like, okay, I understand you need to like talk to her, but here's to high treason, men who had to do something no matter what the cost. And it's like, can you stand out fucking harder in a moment where you need to lay low
and pound champagne? Do you think that was written in the script, or he chose to do that?
I hope it was improv. I hope they're like, yeah, just sip it. He's like, woo!
No, he is such a sore thumb. It's so true. All right, so we have Viggo as Ben Gates. We have Frodo as Riley.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Diane Kruger, Cate Blanchett.
I think I'd put Liv Tyler here instead.
I'm not disagreeing, but I feel like I don't know. I guess you do need the Liv Tyler Aragorn chemistry.
I just think Kate's more on the smart side of things, and Liv is more on the emotional side of things. So I think Kate is a better choice. I'm okay with that. You can do what you want here. Good for you.
Okay. Harvey Keitel, who we got?
Ooh. Ian McKellen.
I was gonna say, do you think Ian McKellen or Christopher Lee is
Christopher Lee's the grandfather.
Christopher Lee's the grandfather for sure. You need because Christopher Plummer is pretty scary, and like when the lightning flashes, and oh my god, Grandpa,
Jesus! He's like, men don't scream when you stab them.
Yeah.
There's
Oh
Grandpa.
my god, what a fucking story. Oh, man lived a life. So Christopher Lee. So you think Ian McKellen? I was gonna say. I was looking at Ian McKellen. I can't remember. Oh no, Ian McKellen is John Voight. He's the dad.
So much better. So much better.
I was gonna say I know when I was watching this, it's like okay, I got those two. So do you think Hugo Weaving?
Theoden?
Or Carl? What about Carl Urban? No, he needs to be older. He needs to be older than. Theoden?
Yeah, Hugo Weaving's a little bit better. I think Hugo Weaving's better.
Okay, I like it. We got the three goons or the three other hobbits.
100%. Yeah, you can't do anything else with them.
I think Orlando Bloom is the FBI agent that's like, oh, we got a tip a few days ago about. It's like, oh, wait, you believe it now?
Is important now? Yeah, exactly. Wow.
That's Orlando Bloom. I think it's everybody, right? We got the Sam, Mary, and Pippin are the three goons.
Who's the little kid that gets the encryptions?
Oh, that's Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler. That little kid was cute. Yeah, there's not a lot of characters.
There's not a lot of characters in this,
but that's fun. So go ahead and run it down for us again.
All right, so Benjamin Gates is Viggo Mortensen. Abigail Chase is Cate Blanchett. Riley Poole is Elijah Wood. Sadusky, FBI agent Harvey Keitel is Hugo Weaving. Patrick Gates, John Voight is Ian McKellen. John Adams Gates. Oh, wow, I didn't know that was his name. Christopher Plummer's name is John Adams Gates.
That's why I'm saying Benjamin Franklin. There's names that are being passed down.
Who's Patrick?
Is that Patrick? The first? I think that's
John Voight.
Isn't Patrick the name of the guy that was initially trusted with the information?
Oh, I think you're right. The guy the first guy that got told like in the carriage or something.
That's right. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's a good call. John Adams Gates is Christopher Lee. The three goons, Shaw, Shippen, and Powell is their name.
Shippen? Are you kidding?
Shippen.
Pippin.
Done. Those three hobbits, and that's everybody. And then Orlando Bloom is the derpy FBI agent that blows it.
So good.
By the way, it's so funny. Agent Colfax is played by Eric King, who like a few years later would be the big adversary in Dexter.
Oh, funny. I never watched that show. I think also we're wrong. Harvey Keitel is John Rhys Davies.
You're right. That's so good. You're right, Jessica. That's a good one. I'd love to see John Rhys Davies in that one.
We just also need to cast like the Fellowship first, also, before
honestly,
we go to
I blanked on it.
Yeah,
you're totally right.
All of a sudden I was like, who are we missing? I was like, oh, that guy. So that's what you do. I think you do. And he'll be funny. No, he's got enough of the chops to do it too.
He does. Like you honestly, like I feel like Harvey Keitel probably took a bunch of roles from John Rhys Davies. Like I feel like they're very interchangeable in a lot of things.
Harvey Keitel just stands out in a way that like no one really can.
His voice is so unique where it's so like he's such a good actor, but like sometimes like you can tell he's really slowing down his words. Because he's got like such a strong New York accent that it's just like it is very impressive like how far he's gone with just like he's just gonna be in here and every time he's one of the original, he's gonna be him. You're gonna get Harvey Keitel every time you cast him.
Probably the majority of the direction he gets is exactly as you're saying, talk slower.
Yeah.
Because like I was just thinking about that with Family Guy when Mila Kunis was hired. I guess she's very young. She was very young when she was cast for that 70s show, and then she was 15 when she was cast as Meg in Family Guy. And
really? Okay.
I just heard that. No, it's 25 years now.
Because Lacey Chathbert was the original voice, right?
Right. But Seth hated Mila's voice was the right voice, but Seth hated how she slurred everything. So his big qualm with her was to enunciate. So
man,
wild.
I remember when they went back in time and it's like, oh, Meg sounds different. Yeah, she's Lacey Chathbert. She's about to make a terrible career move. It's like, I mean, Lacey Chabert, I think, is doing really well with like she's in a lot of Hallmark movies now, which I mean is a great like.
Listen, in the long run, we benefit for Mila Kunis to be Meg. It's such a better call.
It's a better call, but just like it's got to be tough, like not getting that weekly paycheck, man.
Oh, they all said recently when they did like the 25th anniversary like interviews, like this is the best job anyone could have in Hollywood. You just work. You get to work.
Yep,
it's amazing. All right, speaking of just working, we got other shit to do. Is there anything else we got to talk about before we tell our friends who we're gonna watch next week?
Who are we watching next week?
Well, it's time to either do. We've done Gimli. We've done Orlando Bloom. We haven't done Dominic. We haven't done Billy Boyd.
Let's do Dominic because let's do Dominic because I know Lost just came on Netflix, so it's been kind of trending. Do we want to do the first 2 episodes of Lost?
Or are there better Dominic episodes of Lost? Like Dominic-centric episodes?
I've never seen Lost.
Oh,
I've never seen Lost. So
let's do the first couple episodes then. That's fair.
Okay.
You may be getting me to watch Lost now.
I know.
Alex is going to be thrilled.
I've never watched it either. So, or there's either that or X-Men Origins Wolverine is the only thing I'm looking at. Like he's got 180 credits, so he's a worker.
Why don't we just, before we put like our flag in the ground, see if any of our listeners like Arsenal Really 2K, who is at the 3 Rings for Elves tier at Patreon and thus gets a shout out anyway, has suggestions for a Dominic Moynihan movie or TV show.
Let's do it.
And let's then, so if you guys give us suggestions, then we'll put out a poll if there's enough to warrant it, or we'll just make a decision and we'll let you know what we're going to watch. And we do want to thank you guys for getting involved in the polls and on our social medias, because it's very fun when we incite rage into our lives. We do this because of you guys, okay?
Yes, and I still want everyone to go watch GoldenEye because you won't regret it.
We should do that anyway. So, reminder, if we get 10 paid subscribers on our Patreon, we will watch Lord of the G-Strings. When we get 15, we will do a reading of the Lord of the Rings animated movie that didn't get made. When we get 20, what did we say we were going to do? It was like another one on cocaine. Something else we were going to do. We just have plans as we grow, so we want you to grow along with us. We do this for free. It would be great if you could support us in any way. If you cannot donate monetarily, share with your friends. And what could they do on their preferred podcast player or on YouTube right now, Ben?
Like and subscribe, y'all. Give us 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening on. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching us on YouTube, because Jessica's putting in the extra effort to make a video podcast out of this. Share it with your friends. Retweet us on social medias. I'm going to say retweet us. I'm not going to say re-X us or whatever it's called. It's so embarrassing. What an embarrassing person. But yeah, God, I just like... Give me $1 billion and you'll never hear from me again. So like, I'll shut the fuck up for $1 billion, honestly.
I don't know. You might have your farewell tour for a year, but like then go, live on an island. I would do that. I'd be like, party everywhere.
No, if someone said you can never post again on anything, I'd be like, done.
I'd take $100. Not really, but I would think about it. It's a really weird time where everyone's got to have an opinion about something, and I'm just so tired of it. I know that we have like this podcast where we're sharing opinions, but I feel like it's more like, hey, let's hang out for a couple hours with our friends who are listening to us and engaging in conversation. We're going to talk tomorrow. Ben and I are going to record our podcast of the Dragons, which is our exclusive.
And I got thoughts about that.
Huge thoughts. So Alex and I went on a walk today and talked about it for an hour.
Yeah.
So like, we're going to talk about these things that we like or don't like. There's some stuff to talk about, especially with episode 5. It's episode 5, right now?
Episode 5.
Is it episode 5? Yeah, because now there's only,
3 episodes left.
They're wasting our time. All right.
I know.
Anyway. There's a lot to talk about. Join Patreon. That you can do a 7-day free trial at the $5 tier so that you can see if you even like our podcast of the Dragon.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's worth it. It's real good.
So. I think so. And until next time, Ben.
May our paths meet again.